We have defensive lineman Chris Frey here. If you guys can raise your hand and we'll go in order. Sal, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Can you talk about the defensive line and, the competition there at the defensive line? It seems like you got a good, nice rotation going, and how you guys seem to be pushing each other. Saw the scrimmage last Saturday, and it didn't seem like guys were missing the beat, rotating in and out.
Yeah, we're pretty solid right now on the defensive line. We have Nate, Bonnie, and Felici rolling a lot. Komorowski, D. Rich, Austin Hill. Everybody, I think, is going to be a huge contributor this year. I know years in the past we've had one or two deep. I think we're going to have a definite two deep this year, and a consistent flow of going in and out of the game and keeping guys fresh.
From your experiences last year, what do you think the most you took from last season, and what did you want to what are you looking to do for your senior year? What were some of your goals for your senior year?
My goals for this senior year is leaving the defensive line better than when I found it. We have a lot of young guys, Kamari Copeland, Trey Sophia, Kyle Lewis, and Andre Miller that are going to be phenomenal football players here. Jacob 2OT, he's sorry about that. He's a great football player as well.
Gotcha. Just one last one. We were talking to Fabrice yesterday. I just wanted to hear from a teammate about what having a guy like him on the team, having a guy who, will do just about anything to help the team out, whether it be special teams or just waiting for his chance for a snap behind Andre.
Yeah, Fabrice One is probably one of the toughest individuals. I remember my freshman year, him and I were playing up, and even just working out with him, the intensity he brings, and then it doesn't matter. He's one of the most selfless human beings I've ever met, and he'll do anything for this team in order to win.
Okay, we'll go to Joe.
Hi, Chris. Joe Iacono with GoBlackKnights.com.
How you doing?
Wanted to ask, you already mentioned a lot of the young players, and there's obviously a lot of depth and young talent on the defensive line. What's impressed you the most so far about some of the younger players that you just mentioned, in terms of them stepping up and kind of learning the schemes and really gelling with the rest of, the veterans like you and Quabina and Austin Hill and some of those guys?
I think the biggest thing is that they take coaching and they apply it to their game. It's a consistent thing. I mean, they take their coaching, it's yes, coach, and it's go execute. And I think all of them do that at a very high level.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go to Ken Kreitzer.
Hey, Chris, how are you today? How was your practice out there?
It was good, sir. Thank you.
Great. Now you bring experience, 22 games. You had 25 tackles last year. What did you learn from being able to play most of last season?
The biggest thing I took away from last season was definitely game time experience. I remember Army Navy and Army Air Force, and I mean the crowds go. It's a lot different than playing when we have our freshman scrimmages and stuff like that, and there's a lot more people. So I mean, getting used to like larger crowds, definitely. But I don't think that it has affected my play at all.
Now, which position on the defensive line are you practicing at right now?
I practice nose and defensive end.
Great. What are your keys in just stopping the run? Certainly a fundamental test in college football. What is the key for you in stopping running plays?
Having good quick hands, pad level, and firing off the ball.
And we've talked a little bit about when you played some aggressive quarterbacks last year, and you're trying to get a pass rush going. What are the keys to that?
I definitely think it's definitely how we prepare for that game. I think a lot of the individual drills that we do, especially now with Coach Cronin stepping in, and I think this year we're going to have a very successful year getting after the quarterback.
And just your thoughts preparing for Coastal Carolina 2 weeks from tomorrow night.
What was that, sir?
Preparing for Coastal Carolina, your opening game.
Yes, sir. Do you want me to expand on that?
Yeah, what's your thought about? What's the key?
They're a phenomenal football team. I mean, very well coached, very fundamentally sound. We just have to go in and execute, do our job, and follow the plan.
Chris, good to talk to you tonight.
You too, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll go to Ken McMillan to wrap up.
Hi, Chris. Ken McMillan with the Times Herald Record.
How you doing, sir?
Good, thank you. Chris, what's it like to be at this stage of camp? You've got this, you're completing your second full week of practice. You got the scrimmage coming up, but then you still got another 2 weeks to the opener. What's it like to be at this stage of camp?
I think it's just the consistency that you need to bring every single day, whether it's in the Army or here at football. And that's bringing the same attitude and effort every single play. I don't really look at the days. Like, I think somebody mentioned it was like 15 days away. And I know, like, I probably should know that, but it's like, I'm just going day by day right now and just sharpening my sword to be the best football player for this football team.
I mean, I'm sure you're eager to get to that first game, but you probably know that there's still work to be done. Yes?
Oh, 100%. Yep. We're never perfect. And need to continue to get better at practicing and focusing on the fundamentals.
How hard is it or easy is it to stay consistent every day?
I think when you're surrounded by a bunch of guys that are committed to the same values that I am, I think it's predominantly easier because they all want to win. We all want to do our best, and just building that consistency like through our team. I think we've had that a lot. We've found that a lot in the last few weeks.
Yeah. Coach Monken and Coach Davis told us earlier in the week that there were a couple of bad practices, and Coach Woody said yesterday that everything went pretty well. Tell me about how do you as players overcome a bad practice, and do you realize it's a bad practice? It can't all be great, right?
Yeah, obviously we're all human. Nothing can ever be perfect, but I think it's the leadership with through Marquell and Connor Bishop that really corral us together when we have a bad practice, and I think it's how we respond the following day in terms of having a bad practice and then following it up with a better practice.
Is it that you want your butt kicked the next day, or do you want to have a short-term memory and just start new?
Yeah, I think it's a one snap contract, as Coach Davis always says. You can have a really good play and be fixated on it, and you can have a really bad play, be fixated on it, but either way, you're not going to be focused on the next play, and that the next play is the most important play.
Sure. Last thing, talk about your college career coming toward an end. Reflect on what you've gone through here at West Point, and does it make you more eager, more determined being a senior?
I think right now in my career, I'm more focused on the fundamentals than I think I ever have, whether it's down in the core, making sure that tables are clean when we leave them, or if it's up here in the film room and after practice showering quick so I can get up into Coach Corona's office and follow up on how I performed that day and watching film. I think now that I'm realizing that I'm getting towards the end of my college career, that it's really time to lock in and be the best player that I can be, an example for the younger guys.
Mm-hmm. Does it make you kind of sad a little bit too?
Hopefully football goes on, but I'm also really excited to be an Army officer.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
We'll do one more with Ken Kreitzer.
Hey, Chris, that's a great comment about wanting to become an Army officer. On the thought about what contributes to a bad practice, you have a lot of demands from the Corps, from academics. Can some of that carry over if they have a special set of demands for the Corps on a given day? Can that carry over to your football practice?
I have not let that ever affect me when I've been an Army football player. So when I walk into the doors downstairs, walk in, it's football time. It's my only my focus for right now. When I'm in the classroom, it's all classroom stuff. When I go back down to the Corps, it's being the best cadet that I can be, and then focusing on academics.
Do you have to help your teammates, especially the young ones, when they're hit with a lot of demands in the Corps, at the barracks, or academics?
Some people do struggle. Yeah, I mean, I think any plebe or freshman or underclassmen will struggle with stuff like that. But a lot of the times, they come to me and I just can continue to harp on listen, it's the fundamentals, it's the small things that are the big things in life.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
That's all we got for today, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Okay. Thanks, Eric.